Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl JoJo, and I'm here with the review for Ready to Love. I don't know what episode number we're on, but I know we're on season 5. So, y'all forgive me. I'm looking a little, looking a little rough, but I had to come. I had to run to the store, and I have guests at my house. So I was just trying to run out real quick while everybody was still asleep, and then come back in so I could record my video. But yeah, I know I'm not. I feel like I'm over here looking like a little boy, but I'm still about to give my opinion. though. That's what I'm about to do. We still gonna talk about it, and I hope you guys can hear me good. All right, so let's get to it, and let's try to do it quickly because I told y'all I had snuck out. All right, so um, the men meet up in the gentleman's lounge. I love that mustard blazer that Cornelius has on. I have that in my notes, so I just wanted to mention it. Who calling me? Who is that? Anyway, so we're at the halfway point, and I think this just goes to show how the season has been going so far because we're already at the halfway point, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm still having trouble remembering people's names. Like, people just are not putting their stamp on this season the way that they normally do. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's been interesting. So now we're at the point where they are to focus on a woman that they haven't been that interested in previously. You guys know they do that every season. Take somebody out who maybe you haven't really had any connection with. So that is what they are going to do. Nephew Tommy says they're going to be focused because they're looking for a ride or die. Can we retire ride or die, y'all? Can we retire ride or die along with swag, along with chocolate? as a description. What else we retiring, y'all? Let me know. Let me know what other words you would like retired. I know we got more. Walter calls Zadia for a date. He says they've talked before, kind of in passing, but they haven't really had any in-depth conversation. So they meet up. They're getting pedicures for their date. They got a lot of jokes between the two of them. You can tell both of them have a good sense of humor. I like the way Zadia's conversation flows. I really could take some tips from her in the early dating stage compartment because her questions are so lighthearted, but they still give a lot of information. So she ends up asking him like what makes him excited about a woman, or just in general dating a woman. And he says that what makes him excited is building his own family traditions in the future. He wants to do camping and fishing trips and all of that good stuff. So that makes him excited. He grew up in a household with 4 women. He was raised around a bunch of women. And that does translate in his dating life, but he says it translates in more of a positive way. Zadia was worried that it might translate in a negative way. He did say that early on when he first met his wife, one of his friends sat him down and told him, like, you have a really good woman and you would be a fool if you lost her, or you would be a fool, to lose her. So when he did actually lose her, he said that he he kind of went back to, in his mind, to where he was 19 years old. And I do believe that Walter has said before that after his wife died, he had a lot of questionable behaviors in his dating life. As a result of dealing with that grief and, probably just not expecting to lose somebody, especially that young. So he's had some difficulties before, and he's mentioned it. The pedicure lady makes a comment as they're joking that white toes get you chose. And I was like, well, that would explain a lot because mine are currently baby blue. And perhaps that's been the problem the whole time, the non-white toes. But Zadia says she's trying to get chosen. Walter says, well, it's the women that do the choosing. I don't choose you. Well, what y'all think? What y'all think about that comment? I've actually heard that before, but I've heard, some people would beg to differ. So, y'all give me y'all thoughts, because I really don't know. And I don't even know if I care. But it was just some interesting back and forth. So, Walter is cool. Sometimes somebody walking over here, y'all. I think he might be. I'm at the Walmart. I think he might be going to his car. Trying not to call attention to myself. How you doing? All right. Anyway, so I like Walter, but sometimes I do get the vibes like that he is really, really smooth, and I just don't want to be let down again. You know how we were with New Orleans. I forgot his name. Moving on, because it's a lot of dates, so we got to get through them. Sabrina goes out with Sean. Sean, the creator. They go out on a date, and he likes Sabrina. He said he's been interested in getting to know her. Sabrina's teaching him a little bit of Korean, and I said, now wait a minute. I thought she didn't know Korean that well, or maybe she just didn't know the song when Tyrone hit her with the na chan. Y'all remember that? But she's teaching him a little Korean. She's teaching him chopsticks, and they're having a lot of laughter. Sabrina is fun. I have figured that out about her. She does seem to be very fun. They did a lot of laughing and joking. Sean says he's making connections with women, but he doesn't know if he's making love connections. Now, what's interesting about this date is, in multiple dates after this, is there is the subject of children on just about every date. This kind of kicked it off in the episode. We know that Sean wants children. We know that Sean is 44. If Sean wants children, that's just what that is. He has to align himself, though, with women who want the same thing, and he just doesn't seem to be having any luck in that department. So with Sabrina does bring up her child. She brings up her daughter, and how she doesn't want her daughter to see her dating a whole bunch of different men, or have a whole bunch of different men in and out. And I was just thinking to myself, I sure hope she never watches this here show. Hope y'all keep her away from watching this and everything that goes on it, even though, nobody gets too crazy. But she says plain as day when he asks her, no hesitation, do you want more children? No, I'm not doing that. And so she wants to know from Sean, is that going to be a deal breaker for you? Is that going to be a problem? Sean has mentioned before that he has gone with the flow in relationships. And I have a fear that he's about to do it again. He knows he likes Sabrina. He knows he likes spending time with Sabrina, but he also knows that Sabrina does not align to one of the core things that he really does want, which is a child. I know it is, later for him, but it is possible, there are some risks associated, though, gentlemen. I know y'all always like to think it's not, but there are risks associated. But he that's something he really wants to do. And so when I saw him kind of, not hemming and hawing, but he was just kind of like, yeah, so that is something that's really important for me. That is something I really want to do. However, I also like you, and you also have a decision in this too. And I was like, Sean, she does. However, you have a decision as well. You don't just have to take you don't have to take whatever somebody hands you if it doesn't align to what you want. You can leave it. It might be hard because you really like her and you might not want to let her down or hurt her feelings or anything, but something tells me Sabrina, she knows what it is, and if that's what you want, that's what you want. So there was a bunch of pauses, and Sabrina was waiting on him to answer, and I was like, well, Sabrina, what are you waiting on? You just said you didn't want any more children, so why are you waiting on him to answer the question any differently? That's something that he wants. And obviously for whatever reason, he's having a hard time saying no to her. But I just think it's going to end up biting him in the behind if he keeps kind of going with the flow of things that he knows that he doesn't want. And maybe that's why he's been at this point in his life that he's in. So I just wish he would have said no and, kept it moving. At this, Sabrina mentioned that was a red flag for her, but then she just kind of kept flowing with it as well. So it's like both of them kind of went with the flow. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Sean and that whole baby situation. So then Aisha and Jonte Phil, y'all know that's what I call him because Phil looked like Jonte from South Carolina to me. So Aisha and Jonte Phil, they go out. Jonte Phil was the one who helped Aisha with her car. And y'all remember I said, who is Phil? Because I forgot who that was. We find out Aisha loves to cook. Aisha looked like she could cook. She loves to make stuffed lobster. Jonte Phil asks her about kids too, because he's been hearing different things. And it turns out that him and Aisha have been talking on the phone. And she's revealed something to him or talked about it with him in a way that she hasn't talked about it with other people. So Jonte Phil is kind of confused. So we find out that it's not that Aisha necessarily doesn't want any more children, but she's had difficult pregnancies. And so in order to kind of guard herself from that and guard herself from having to explain the complications and all this other stuff, she just tells men that she just doesn't want anymore. She's not going to do it again. She would feel bad if it didn't go right. She almost lost both of her children. She has trouble carrying. For whatever reason, she has trouble carrying. She does get emotional about it. And she says a lot of times that's why she just says, I don't want children. Because I don't want to go into detail and have to explain this, get emotional about it. You know, she did start crying. But she was just like, I don't want to get with somebody who wants children, try it, and I fail, and I feel like I failed my husband, and I failed my marriage. That was sad. That was really, really sad. I get it, though. Even though she does have children, because I know sometimes when people have children already, you wonder, like, oh, well, you know, why is it such a big deal if they have trouble, whatever. They already got 2 kids. But I don't know. I guess just being a woman, it is something that kind of plays on your psyche when your body isn't doing what you thought it would do or what you feel it's supposed to do, and you might start feeling less than. So that might be something that she's gone through in her mind. I am worried about Aisha, though, because I don't think this is... I think there's been other first dates where she's gotten emotional like this. And I know the word for this season is vulnerability, but I don't know, sometimes I'm worried about her. Like, you know, upon meeting people, you know, before y'all even get into any type of relationship, I don't know. I mean, is it a bad thing to expose too early? Do y'all think it's a bad thing to expose certain parts of yourself like too early, like first, second date? I don't know. I just kind of, I'm just concerned. But I know she's still in therapy and still working through some things as well. I like Aisha. I'm just concerned. I don't know why. I'm just concerned. But Jonte Field was there for her. You know, he was encouraging her to breathe. But that makeup, did she retouch it? Because it was flawless when she put that she put that napkin back down. But anyway, she showed her vulnerability. It's the word of the day. Naeem and Camille went out. That didn't go well. Camille is just awkward in dates. She's always touching her hair and always like, okay, yes. Every time. When she gets to the date, and Naeem just kind of looking at her like, what am I dealing with here? So they start eating some oysters, and he makes kind of a sexual joke when he feeds her the oyster. And then Camille starts in with her line of questioning. Okay, and y'all know Camille can ask questions with the best of them. She starts asking about children. What would it look like with her child in the picture? Like, what kind of, I guess, role model, or what kind of person would you want to be in his life? And Naeem, now, does Naeem have any children of his own? Because I had got him confused with Dante. I can't remember if he has children of his own. But Naeem was like, well, you know, I'm sure I'm not trying to be his daddy for sure. And, you know, I'm not really trying to be just like, oh, that's just Mr. Nice. So I guess he just want to be somebody in between. And Camille says, yes, you will be Mr. Nice. It's not funny, you guys, because she really is off, but I cannot help but to laugh. She also asks, when it comes to marriage, how are you feeling about it? He says, with the right woman, absolutely. Marriage, yes. Children, yes. She said, how many? He said, we're going to start with 1. Something tells me that that's all Naeem really want to have is 1. And might not even want that one, because it was something about the way he said, let's just start with 1. Then she goes into finances. She asks him, does he make more than 6 figures? I was uncomfortable. Like, I know that these conversations do happen. I do know that, you know, these days, if you're dating with intention, I know that you don't want to waste time. It's just the way that she asks questions. It's just so, like, in your face. Like, what you making? What's the finances looking like? You know, is it 6 figures? Is it over 6 figures? Are you going to tell me? And Naeem is like, no, I'm not answering that question. Naeem don't. He said that him and Camille can be friends. He just not feeling it. And, yeah, I don't think any of us can blame him. When he asks her, how do you let a man know you're interested? She said, usually I ignore him, you know, for a couple of days. I guess that's her paying hard to get. Oh, Camille. I gotta move forward. I don't want to talk. I feel bad when I start going too hard on people, so I'm gonna just move on. Y'all know I only go hard when it's like you truly got to be on my nerves. Y'all remember that Iyanla episode? It's still up if you want to go watch it. It was raining outside and everything where I went off on this on this couple. Anyway, um, they go play miniature golf. Sabrina, Mew Min, am I saying her name right? Dante and was it Walter? Child, that's a shame. I don't even remember the fourth person. But they going to play miniature golf. It was Frank. Sorry, they were going to play miniature golf. Sabrina, although she is a bundle of fun, I was concerned when she was doing that weird, funky chicken twerk. It was kind of like y'all can't see my legs, but I was like, what is she doing? That was her victory dance, child. Mew Min is kind of real mellow. She seems to be real mellow, but you probably can get some jokes out of her off to the side. But she's playing miniature golf and she hollering as well every time. I said, y'all act like y'all out there Tiger Woods, y'all. But Sabrina pulls Dante to the side because she wants to get a moment to talk to him because I guess they haven't really been talking that much. So she pulls him inside to talk to him. We find out Dante has Sabrina does bring up her daughter first, right? And what that looks like for Dante. Dante has children as well. He has 3 children by 3 different women. Now, y'all. I don't know what it looks like for Sabrina because she already has a child. So maybe it looks okay for her. My only thing about that is what makes me different. Like when I meet somebody, I remember I had met, I'm not going to say, but I had some interactions with somebody that had 5 children. And I remember thinking to myself, there's nothing about me that's special that you couldn't find in the other 5. So women, the other 5 women, I mean, or maybe it was 4, but I was just like, how am I going to be any different from these ladies? Because obviously they were deemed enough to have children with, but nothing further, nothing more serious. And so I was just like, well, you ain't stay with none of them, so I don't think I'm going to be getting any other side of the coin more than likely. But yeah, I mean, that was it didn't even make it past phone conversations because he was a character in other ways. But yeah, I don't know what it looks like for Sabrina. I don't know what it looks like for women who already have children. But is that a flag for you? I know if you have no children, it probably would be a flag for you, just because you want to think in your mind, why didn't it work with any of the other 3 women that you were with previously? So that's my question. Let's move forward. All right. Now, Frank and Mew Min have a nice connection. I wasn't expecting that. I even though he was shaking that cocktail and I was confused, I actually do kind of like Frank. I don't know, I don't know. It's just something about him. I feel like I would like talking to him. Maybe because he's a bartender and he's skilled in having that approach, just being able to talk to people. But he seems like he would be cool, just to hang out with or whatever. So, they having good conversation. They seem to relate on a lot of things, culturally, family values. They both seem to be fairly traditional. The only problem Frank is having with Mew Min while he's feeling her is that Mew Min is waiting. Okay, I believe she's waiting for marriage is what I got. Frank is a hypersexual person. I might. When you say hypersexual, does that mean more? Hyper would suggest that you are more sexual than the average person, or am I getting that wrong? I should have looked it up before I started this video, huh? Let's look it up now. Child, we ain't got nothing but time. Y'all got something to do? I need to go into Walmart to do a return, but we gonna Google this word real quick. Make sure I got it right. Hypersexual. An obsession with sexual thoughts, urges, or behaviors that may cause distress or that negatively affects health, job, or relationships. Oh. Well, that doesn't sound good. Maybe we should hold that for the record on Frank. But he's hypersexual. He tells Mew Min. And Mew Min is just like, she's had some thoughts that I've talked to other women about before. Like, I just don't want to lead with that. I don't want that to be the main thing. That's so easy. And I want to see where we have connections outside of that. And that's really good, because there are some people who, strictly outside of the sex, there's nothing else there. There's no growth, there's no connection. So I understood what she was saying with that. And I understand Frank too, though, and other people who, that's not really how they do things. They're not really interested in trying to wait. Frank says that he's willing to explore that with Mew Men and kind of deny himself. He's never had to before, and kind of see how that goes. But just going from what we saw with Liz and Jason, I just don't think it's good for two people who really are not doing that for themselves to be together. When you're just strictly trying to do it for the other person, it's not that it doesn't work, because I've seen it work, but you just, I don't know, you just got to be truly, truly dedicated to it and have a lot of discipline. So, yeah. There's that. We'll just have to see where they go. But Mew Men might have been a better match for Cornelius if that's what Cornelius is trying to do. Speaking of him, let's talk about his date. Cornelius goes out with Courtney. Courtney is very sexual, which means she might be a better matchup for Frank, but people want who they want. But he likes Courtney. He likes her style. He likes her energy. He's concerned, that some of it is like a little party girlish, and he does ask her about that. But Courtney says, I like older men. I normally date older men. I like those vibes, so I'm good. I've gotten all that out of my system. I'm not doing that no more. And y'all know how Courtney is. She doesn't mind doing the pursuing. She doesn't mind letting you know that she's interested, whether that's mentally, whether that's physically. She doesn't mind. So she's touching on Cornelius. Cornelius is trying to ask her about this whole sex thing. And Courtney's stance on it is she wants what she wants. So even though she's kind of like toying with the idea, she's also telling Cornelius, so you're not gonna come get this. You're not, you just gonna let this, walk away. You're not gonna be tempted. And have y'all ever noticed that when Cornelius has conversations about sex with Camille, it's different than the ones he has with Courtney? With Courtney, it's always, well, I mean, that's something I want to do, but we also know that things happen. It's always things happen. And I'm just like, Cornelius, are you already feeling the temptation, brother? Because it always changes when he get around Courtney. But he's concerned, if that's going to be a good match for him. And it probably will not, more than likely. So, he admits that Camille has been his number one connection. Still, Camille is in the running. I don't know how she's still in the running for him when she spoke to him the way that she spoke to him last week. But, I was talking. I have a lot of conversations with people, and we were talking about how you sometimes get so caught up in trying to see the good in somebody that you be ignoring them red flags. And I said, I've definitely been there. So what's next? Not a good thing to do, by the way. So what's next? Tessia and who she go out with? Sean go out. It was cool. Tessia has been kind of pulling an Anthony this season. Just kind of really flying under the radar. Gonna be around in the top 3 or 4. Then realize that she don't really have a connection with anybody and, grab one real quick. But her and Sean go out. And this might work because she is still at the age where she can have a child with Sean. That is something Sean wants. They both also have like similar traditions, values, talk about religion. She says she is both religious and spiritual. I can relate to that. What else did they talk about? She asked them about is he comfortable with them being in 2 different generations? And I think Tessia is 33, 34. I was just like, child, don't nobody care. Once you get past a certain mark, nobody cares. Okay, I mean, I know that sounds bad, but yeah, child, nobody cares about y'all being in 2 different generations. Y'all both remember MySpace. But yeah, the date was okay, and maybe this might work for Sean because he does still want those children. So this might work for him, and we're gonna see if he make the right move or if he just continue to go with the flow. When the fellas meet back up, I was surprised to find Courtney in the bottom. I don't know why I was surprised, but I was. It seemed like more than one man was just not interested in the way that some people weren't interested in the way she came off. I know Cornelius felt like a lot of her energy felt like, she was still out there, still trying to do the party girl thing, even though she said she wasn't, but Cornelius still feels that way. Another person that was at the bottom was Camille. Naeem said that the intensity is just way too much for him. Sean brings up that awkward exchange that they had at the pool. And Sabrina is in the top for a lot of people. Zadia was also one of the people listed by some of the guys as well. So they're going to be safe. We didn't see any dates from Shiloh, and we didn't see any dates from New Girl. Y'all forgot about New Girl, didn't you? We didn't see any dates from her. But I'm sure they went on some. They just didn't air them. So when they go to talk to the ladies to do the "Are you ready for love or not?" Why did it feel like when Walter met up with Courtney, when you meet up with somebody to eliminate them, you are supposed to talk about what the group felt. I felt like Walter led in with what his problem was with Courtney. And how they went on dates and Courtney wasn't paying him no attention. She was paying attention to Cornelius. I was just like, Walter, this ain't for your own personal gripes. You're supposed to be talking about why she isn't ready to love, which he does eventually get to. And tell them me and the fellas was talking and we feel you weren't ready to love. Courtney took it well. Camille, who almost got eliminated, didn't even take almost well. She looked like she was containing her crazy as Naeem was talking. Not Naeem, as Dante was talking to her. He was explaining that it kind of seems like you set your sights on one person. This process is about opening up. He explained the process to her the way that Walter was supposed to do with Courtney. And as he's talking, she kind of looking like, okay, I said she's containing it. She gonna flip this table over you if you say the wrong thing. But turns out she's not going home. And I looked at that phone because I was watching it on my phone. I said, y'all done bamboozled me because this girl should have went home. She should have went home before Courtney went home. Camille has acted up on I'm not gonna say on more than one occasion. The pool party was like the max, but she's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. She is extremely intense to the point of almost being rude, and she should have went home. Like I just don't understand it. She got to be staying around for entertainment value only. She's a beautiful woman. She has a very nice body, but just something is not there. Something is not clicking, and I don't think she should have got to stay. Okay, that is just my opinion. Especially since she's only interested in one person. Normally you get put off for that. You got to be able to do the process. If her and Cornelius are feeling each other like that, both of y'all can go home then. Right? Am I wrong? And see, when Cornelius go out with somebody else that's interested in what he's interested in, which I got a feeling maybe it might end up being Mew Man, I'm not sure. Camille gonna go off. I got a feeling she gonna go off on somebody, but we gonna see. Y'all let me know what you thought about the episode. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you for the next one. Bye.